Hello, good morning, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the chat, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Hope that you guys are doing okay. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Okay. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can also support the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. Okay. Um, I wanted to talk about Straight Drop. Okay. I know yesterday, he was found guilty of the unaliving of young Dolph, and we were all kind of glued to the internet. Actually, for me, I had gotten a media pass, and I was, I had kind of blocked off time for this week all week because I had known that I was going to be able to get in, right? And when I heard about that there was a lot of threats that, calling in, you know, with threats for the building, and which when it's high profile cases like that, they always do that. um I kind of backed up, right? I kind of hate that I didn't go because I'd already, like, that Sunday, what I told y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get on. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't really want anyone to, other than a few people. And that morning I was up at 7 because I laid my clothes and stuff out early. My mama was like, I wish you wouldn't go down there to that courthouse. I just think it's going to be dangerous. But of course, you heard News Channel 3 anchor say that they had, as I told you, extra plainclothes officers around. You had to go through two metal detectors. They had one up on the seventh floor, one, of course, when you come in. So there was a lot of extra security, right? So, I didn't go, and looking at that video, I don't think of him actually falling and what happened. I think that would have really. I'm a sensitive person, so I wouldn't have been able to get that out of my head, because I hear it was very hard for the family, right? Um, but of course, Straight Drop he was convicted and he was sentenced, okay, for one of his charges. And we've been looking at this almost for 3 years. And like I said, we were all kind of glued to the internet, to our TV screens. Like I said, I had I had blocked off time to be down there, so I was able to sit on the internet. Seems like all day for a few days, because everybody was just captured, right? Because this is what we had been waiting for, had been waiting on. And even when it happened, it was like bittersweet. Everybody was happy for Young Dog's family to finally see a relief because they didn't know what was going to happen. But at the same time, you looking at Straight Drop, a 26-year-old, 23 when he did it, in a fetal position, nervous, rocking back and forwards. A young man whose life is also gone. I mean, there are no winners. We think about all of the people who have lost their life, whether it was directly related to this or not. They've lost their lives. That was somebody's father, somebody's child. And like I said, it was only right because Cornelius is going to get a great part of his life, serve a great part of his life in jail, probably just as much as Straight Drop. Orange Malquette at some point, he's going to have to pay his retribution for his part in it, and others. Okay. And I know people have gone back and forwards about who was involved and who was not involved. Listen, I let the wheels of justice turn. I can't get on the internet and be mad as an adult, because people have a difference of opinion as it relates to who was involved and who was not involved. I can't get on here and try and discredit people and have nervous breakdowns, because somebody says somebody's name, especially somebody who is not taking care of me. Okay. Um, so, um, but that is what has been happening. There's been a lot of emotions. People have violated to the uh to the fullest, right? People have violated to the fullest. People have done things that are not going to be conducive to their livelihoods because of this case, because their favorite artist, a bunch of adults, but I understand, like, when you get to talking about the internet, where there are a lot of functioning mentally ill people, right? They're just functioning mentally ill, right? And so seeing straight drop like that, and not to mention dirty, it's a lot of low down folks too. That's one of the reasons why, hey, you know i I move like I do, right? Because I have, I had the opportunity to see a lot, right? And when I get to looking at a straight drop who's a 26-year-old, who um won't get to see his child on the outside, not unless he get to doing something, moving around some other kind of way, and he might get to see his child when she's 25 or 30 years old, right? But looking at his face and seeing adults bragging about, he said he ain't gonna take the cheese. These are the people, and God is going to hold them accountable. You talk about sick. You're gonna start seeing a lot of them, a lot of infirmities and bad luck come up on them. I've never in my life seen so many adults that was just full of vitriol and evilness. Yeah, he said he ain't gonna take the cheese. That is a 26-year-old. He made bad decisions, but he had adults around him that was supposed to guide him in the right way. Instead, they helped him to crash out. They encouraged him to, and they're gonna pay for that. Mark my word. I give them 2 years. They're gonna pay for it. And so now, he's getting ready to be, because if anybody, I'm a mother. If anybody is a parent, whether they are a mother or father, saw how that child was rocking back and forth, he ain't ready for this life of hell that he's getting ready to have behind the wall. He ain't ready. You see him in a fetal position the whole time, he couldn't stop rocking. That's a nervousness. And if anybody, especially an adult, rather than their late 30s, 40s, or 50s, you garbage. Yeah, he didn't say nothing if you egging him on and you already see how nervous he was, how he was rocking. And I'm sure a lot of things at this point contributed to him not saying anything. But I don't know how long this gonna last, right? Because when people looking for a way out after being behind the walls, with a life of hell for so many years, hey, I think they start to rethink stuff, right? But will he survive? Hey, it's a 50-50. Some people he might. But then you have to think about young Dolph. This case was very big, and looked at, and everybody was fascinated with it, right? And then young Dolph was beloved. So just like Straight Drop in them took money to try to get favor, and to try, they thought they was gonna get some riches to try and take young Dolph out. It's somebody, for clout too. It's somebody behind the wall that's waiting on him to come through, that's got the same mentality, that want to be known as taking out young Dolph's hitter, right? And I'm sure it's way more of them than those that will be willing to protect him. Straight Drop is young. He's a nice looking kid. Okay, ain't no telling what they got in mind to turn him into. He ain't got nobody back there to protect him. So that's why I say it's really sad, because Straight Drop has a mother too. I'm sure she's going through hell. It don't make a mother feel good to see their child, on national TV, internet, all over the world, being accused of killing a famous rapper for $800, and in hopes of a record deal with CMG. That's got to be heartbreaking. People don't have children, whether you are a mother or father, for them to be killers. So his daughter loses, because I believe he loved his daughter. His daughter seemed to love him. His mother loses. He loses his life. His family members that truly cared about him, not these damn fools that's egging him on. We know who don't care about him, because all they wanted was for him to do their dirty work, right? That's all they wanted. Anytime you have a bunch of adults bragging about he ain't gonna talk, they don't give a damn about him. They was involved with encouraging it. It's more adults that egged him on, women and men, that's probably gonna see a demise real soon. So we already know that they're not finished with the investigation. It's some type of federal investigation going on, and those who egged them on and instigated it, hey, I would love to see them go to jail. Okay, because it's a darn shame how men and women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s can feel proud about helping to destroy, first of all, young adults that's young enough to be their children and their very own community, right? So they'll be seeing karma too. But will he get taken out in prison? He might. It might be somebody right now that's waiting on him, right? I hope at some point straight drop. I know that, I believe that even though Cornelius had to tell on him, I think the only thing that he was really relieved about was that Cornelius dropped a dime on um Orange Mound Quit and Jook. And I believe Cornelius dropped a dime on somebody else. At this point, they just was not dealing with it because of other reasons and other investigations. Okay. So we understand that it's far from over. And like I said, I was melancholy, and people said talking about she always crying. Well, I'm a human. I don't sell ass. I don't, you know, um, kill people for money. I don't shice people out of money. I'm not a follower. I don't go do things that is not conducive to my livelihood for YouTubers that I don't even know because I'm pathetic and weak minded and low self esteem. I don't rock like that. I'm a human. I have human feelings for real. Okay. And it don't make me feel good to see this young man has ruined his life in the process of trying to ruin another man's life that he probably ain't really have that much of an issue with. I don't think he was messing with Dolph because he was mad because he wasn't signing him. But they was doing turkey drives for years, and Straight Drop had not done anything to him. This young man was troubled because he was already in jail for what he did to a woman, right? That's a troubled person. Don't nobody in their right mind, assault a woman sexually. So that was one of the things that he did do. And whoever it is that is telling on him, they really telling everything to ensure that they get a good deal because if, as you remember, Paul Hagerman mentioned that Straight Drop's attorney asked him not to mention the two felonies that Justin Johnson is involved in. A witness told about two felonies that he's directly involved in. I was told, and I think I've been saying this, that the other person, I don't know if it's true, that the other person that was in the car with Trayon, or I think they call him Treon, with Trayon Ingram, if that's his name, Trayon Ingram, I think, in the Covington situation was supposedly Straight Drop. I don't think it's that far fetched because they have not said a name. They just said the person was on the run. For some reason, they have not put that out there. If that's true, he's going to be facing some more charges. We see that Trayon has been working with the police. We see that Cornelius have. We see that Orange Mound Quit has, and we don't even know about others that have, right? So for me, for people to be encouraged and Straight Drop to not say anything, to stay in jail, to because he got to do his time for what he did to young Dolph, so that he can protect them, is absolutely disgusting, right? But will he survive? Will he get taken out in prison? He very well could, because just like it was, he was ambitious to the point he went and took out a multi-million-dollar man that could have been more help to him, right? It's somebody that's waiting to do the exact same thing that ain't got nothing to lose behind the wall forever, just like he's getting ready to be. So I hope that this is an example, this play as an example to all of the other young men that crime don't pay and people don't give a damn about you. Look at what happened. He was never going to get a deal with CMG once they realized that Straight Drop's name started coming up in the situation. Once his name started coming up, that was it for Straight Drop. That was it for him. They weren't going to give him really, really give him a deal once the folks got hot on him. What they was going to do is, I believe, it was going to take him out. They didn't even really pay him right now. I believe Straight Drop got his. I don't know if he got the whole 40, but I would assume he did. Well, they just messed over Cornelius, right? Because he said that Straight Drop was the one nickel and diming him. Straight Drop was supposed to give him his money. They kept Cornelius' money. Okay. They kept Cornelius' money, and you know, um, they looked at Cornelius as just being a junkie, and they would just treat him any kind of way. And it ended up backfiring on them in the very end. But Cornelius says that the only reason why he talked is because Orange Mound Quit had already started talking. And so, the OGs like Orange Mound Quit and all of them, they should be ashamed of themselves, to go and push these guys to take out a man just for some money. He wanted to get $20,000 out of the deal. You go and recruit some guys to take out a human life so that you can get $20,000. That's sad on so many levels, and he's gonna have to pay for that. I'm sure he already has. But the wheels of justice and karma continuously turns because they did the ultimate. If he was like a brother to Straight Drop, he should have been trying to guide him in another direction. I don't think Juke really even really had any intentions on coming through a lot of what he said. Juke and the others at CMG that was involved with this, because I was told that Juke was his brother's enforcer. Okay. So it's not far fetched for me to believe that his brother knew and was encouraged it, right? Which is why Black Youngster and them were involved. But what happens? Look at what happens. Nothing. Nothing good comes out of this. Okay, you got a federal investigation going on where a lot of other people are going to be taken down. So now I see why they had started taking down, because they've been knowing that this was going on. These people, when they're up on the investigation, oftentimes they start getting interrogated or questioned and brought in. They know more than what the public know. And so, if you look at somebody else as your rival, hey, now that's why I see why, maybe Young Mob been getting taken down, right? Because people feel like if my people gonna go down, we gonna start working to take down the other side, because they ain't gonna be the ones left out here. Our names are not gonna be the only names with a stain on it. That's just how I feel about it, okay? But will he get taken out in prison? He might. It's a 50-50 chance, and we all know that. Um, but I don't see him surviving for no life. I just don't see it, because just like he was ambitious, is somebody behind a wall that's ambitious, that's waiting for him to come so that they can go ahead and take him down. They want to stretch him out, right? It's funny how it seems like when you do evil things, it seems like in the end you end up having the exact same fate. I look at how Young Doc was taken out, and it seems like to me so many others that was involved in this have kind of had the same fate in similar ways. You have to reap what you sow. Okay. Well, I guys please support the channel. You could definitely support the channel via Cash App.